So the first item of business today would be citizens' comments. So Chris, I will ask you once again to recite how people may make comments, and we will be patient
Absolutely.
and wait.
Yeah. So if anybody would like to make a public comment, you can do that by clicking the raise hand feature. It should be at the bottom of your screen, whether you're on desktop or mobile. But if you'd like to make a comment, please raise your hand now and we will facilitate the comment. So I guess we'll just allow for a quick period of time to pass and I'll let you know if we have anything. All right. Not seeing any hands raised. So I think it's safe to
Right.
say we don't have public comments.
So, what I would like to do is take the moment in public comments today to make a statement on behalf of the Board of Selectmen. We would like to extend our condolences to the Weld family upon the passing of Kathy Weld, who unfortunately passed away last week. Kathy has been an icon in the town of Dover. She paved the way for people, for women like me. I feel as though I've always followed in her footsteps, first on Warrant and then on the Board of Selectmen. I also worked very closely with her starting 20 years ago on the Carroll Community Center, which is finally coming to fruition. Kathy worked tirelessly for many causes and championed many of them. She will be fondly remembered in the town and greatly missed by all of us. If you ever wanted or needed anybody to volunteer for anything, Kathy was always the first to raise her hand and always did a phenomenal job. So personally, my condolences to the Weld family. I can only imagine what you're going through right now. So, Dave, would you like to say something?
That was very eloquently said. I don't think I need to repeat it, but I would like to emphasize all that you just said. And Kathy was that icon for me as well when we moved in '94, and she will be sorely missed by so many facets of our town. And our condolences do go out to Wally and the rest of the Weld family. So,
Right.
ooh.
So with that, I would like to move to item 1.1 on the agenda, which is the reorganization of the Board of Selectmen.
May I make a motion?
You may.
I move to nominate Robin Hunter as chair of the Board of Selectmen.
I will second that. All in favor?
You have to go first.
Aye, Robin Hunter.
I, Dave Haviland.
Okay. And then I move to nominate Dave Havland as clerk of the Board of Selectmen.
Second.
You have to second. Um, all in favor? Aye, Robin Hunter.
I, Dave Haviland.
All right. So with that behind us, we will reorganize, and I'm going to ask everybody to forgive me. I'm a little rusty at being chair, so it may take me a few meetings to get back in the swing of things, but I appreciate everybody's patience. So the first item on the agenda will be presented by Mike Blanchard, and it is approval of memorandums of agreement between the town of Dover and the DSEA and the Administrative Assistance Association, Education Support Professionals Associations, Custodians Associations, and Food Service Associations healthcare benefits, and also between the town of Dover and the Mass Laborers District Council Union 1116, also regarding health benefits.
Great, thank you, Robin. So Robin, you may be familiar with this, Dave. This would be new to you. The board previously signed very similar agreements, actually identical with the exception of date changes. but they expired this past fiscal year, and I'm before you now recommending we renew them. So there's two pieces to this agreement. The big picture is that we have various health plans offered through a group that we're part of called the West Suburban Health Group. And we encourage, or I guess through these agreements, are trying to drive people to what's known as the high deductible plan, because the monthly premiums are less. And so that means less, not only for the employee, but less for the town contribution portion. So what the first piece to this is that if an employee is a member of a high deductible plan, they receive a contribution to their health savings account. And you'll see that if they're on an individual plan, it's $1,000, and if they're on a family plan, it's $2,000. So the benefit to the town is that if someone makes that switch, so I'll just give you an example. One of our programs more popular, what's called a benchmark or traditional program, is Network Blue. Someone moved to this high deductible plan, the town would be saving about $5,600 on our contribution. So with that, and to encourage that, that's on a family plan. If we give the employee $2,000 to their health savings account, we're still saving $3,600 per plan. The other piece of that is an opt-out payment. So many employees maybe have a spouse that offers health insurance through their workplace or some other arrangement. And so to encourage employees to take advantage of those opportunities and not be on the town plan, we offer opt-out plans in the amount of $2,000 for individuals or $4,000 for families. And that's a direct savings that we receive. So again, for example, on the Network Blue plan, the town's annual portion contribution is almost $24,000. So by someone electing not to do that, even with our $4,000 opt-out payment, we're still saving $20,000 for that employee. So generally speaking, if I may be so bold, I think this is kind of a no-brainer. It's a really good deal for us. It's a good deal for employees. And I would encourage and recommend the board vote to approve these memorandums of agreement.
Right. And the other thing about healthcare savings account is they stay with the employee. So whatever funds remain in there in retirement, employees can use those funds to offset any healthcare costs that they have.
Right.
So it really is an excellent benefit, and many corporations are moving towards it as well.
Actually, I'm glad you said that, because we had one of these at work for this exact reason. The employees win, and the employer, in this case, the town, wins. So as Mike says, it's the closest thing to a no-brainer ever. So yes, this is wonderful. And would you like a motion?
Right, I can make this motion. I'm
Okay.
not that rusty. So I move to approve the memorandum of agreement between the town of Dover and Dover Sherborne Education Association, Administrative Assistant Association, Education Support Professionals Association, Custodial Association, and Food Service Association Health Insurance Benefits.
Second.
All in favor? I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
And I move to approve the memorandum of agreement between the town of Dover and the Massachusetts Laborers District Council Local Union 1116.
Second.
All in favor? I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
All right.
Thank you.
So the next item of business is for the Board of Selectmen to make appointments to open positions on open space. And the chair of the Open Space Committee is requesting that the board reappoint to Open Space Committee Henry Faulkner for a 3-year term and Jeff Behrens to a 1-year term. Both gentlemen are well known to us. Henry, much like Kathy Weld, has been one of the people that I always associate with volunteering in the town of Dover. His face and his skill set has been a part of many committees and boards. So I really do thank Henry and Jeff for volunteering once again to serve on the very important committee, which is open space.
Can I make this contingent upon Henry finishing his next book? Because he's got a series going, and I've read the first couple, and they're fantastic. So I hope he writes another one. I'm kidding, but he's a gifted author.
Okay, I did not know that. So can you send me the name of those books?
I can. They're World War II genre,
Okay,
but
I like that. I
oh,
like
okay. Well, it was
historical
in my
fiction.
wheelhouse, and I loved them.
Okay,
So
all right. So with that, I move to reappoint Henry Faulkner to the Open Space Committee for a 3-year term ending on June 30th, 2027.
I second.
All in favor? I, Robin Hunter.
I, Dave Haviland.
And then I move to appoint Jeff Behrens to the Open Space Committee for a 1-year term ending June 30th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor? I, Robin Hunter.
I, Dave Haviland.
Okay, thank you both to Jeff and Henry for volunteering, I guess is the word I was looking for, to the Open Space Committee. So the next item on our agenda is to approve the letter to the Department of Revenue regarding the 2016 Minuteman Regional High School debt exclusion vote.
Great.
And I'm turning it over to you.
Perfect. So we, as you probably know, and we're hoping for your next meeting, will be prepared to set the FY25 tax rate. Part of that process, it requires approval by the Department of Revenue, specifically the Division of Local Services, that review a number of budget documents and other things that we need to submit. Part of that is documentation on all of our Proposition 2.5 debt exclusion questions that have been approved by town voters. During the process of this year, it was determined, or we discovered, that a debt exclusion related to a portion of the Minuteman High School project back in 2016 has never, since 2016, has never been included on our documents we submitted, and it ought to be because we did vote it. So we've done a bit of back and forth with the DOR, and what they have requested is a letter from town officials attesting that this debt exclusion was in fact approved by the voters. We've had our town clerk pull all the appropriate records from both the town meeting as well as the subsequent election to approve this debt exclusion. So we have her certification of that fact, but they also requested signatures from the Selectmen as well as our warrant committee. While acknowledging that, I believe is correct, none of the warrant committee was here at that time, they still requested their signature. So the warrant committee took a vote on this, I believe last night, and voted to sign the letter. And I'd be asking you and recommending you take the same vote. And we have the letter here in our office for you to come in and sign so that we can submit that to the state. And at this point going forward, everything will be corrected and the appropriate debt exclusions will be listed for Dover.
So Mike, was this something that we found ourselves when we were putting together all the required documentation for the debt exclusion for the community center project?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Carl wasn't able to be here today, but yeah, he discovered it, I think essentially just by coincidence.
Okay.
And we said, what's going on? And I will say, we're in the unfortunate position. A lot of things within recent years we've been able to attribute to turnover, but back in 2016, we weren't having those issues. It appears, I think, what most likely happened is while it was our debt exclusion, I think people thought, well, it's for Minuteman, right? So they're the ones to be reporting it. And the reality is it was still supposed to be reported by us. So, we've been paying the debt. There's no issue there. It just hasn't been properly reflected on our state forms, and this will correct that.
Right, and I think, the good news is we have the vote. We voted for it at town
Correct.
meeting. So the way I look at it, it's an administrative issue. Um, and I agree with you, it probably didn't register because it's Minuteman's debt. And they haven't, and they don't do debt very much. So it's nothing that we do on a regular basis.
Right.
All right,
But this will fix it and make it all well, so.
right.
Correct. Correct. Yep. And again, nothing. There's been no effect all this year. We just haven't been properly reporting it, and this will correct.
Right. So if there are no further questions, then I'm going to move to approve the October 31st, 2024 letter from the town of Dover attesting that the debt exclusion vote for the Minuteman Regional High School building project passed at the May 16th, 2016 town election.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, Robin Hunter.
Aye, Dave Haviland.
Okay. So item 1.5 is a discussion on whether or not to declare a state of drought in Massachusetts. So I'm going to turn in, not in Massachusetts, in Dover. So I'll turn this over. I'll tell you, in the spring, we had the highest water levels ever. We have a little pond at my home. It was highest watermark that we've seen in many, many years. And today it is probably the lowest watermark that we've seen in many, many years. So we have gone from one extreme to the other, and I didn't quite appreciate how little rain we've had in the last 2.5 months.
Yeah.
I've just been enjoying the nice weather.
You
Well,
hear on
particularly after last
NECN,
year. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
I was just gonna say, you hear on NECN now about the fire danger because of
Right.
the drought conditions. And I believe we've had less than a half inch of rain in 2.5 months. And that includes the 1/4 inch we just got, what is it, last night?
Yeah.
So I know my brown lawn is showing it, or my gray lawn is showing it.
Right. But it is, yeah.
Yeah. So just for the public's benefit, on October 11th of this month, the state declared a level 1 mild drought, which was for only certain portions of Massachusetts, but it did include Dover. And as you just mentioned, it's in response to the lack of rain over the last couple of months. So DEP recommends when you reach a level 1 mild drought that residents and businesses limit their non-essential water use, which includes irrigation, to 1 day per week, either before 9 a.m. or after 5 p.m. to avoid the peak hours. As you may recall, the town of Dover adopted a water restriction bylaw back in 2022. And as part of that, it is the selectmen's responsibility, usually subsequent to DEP or the state declaring a drought, for you to also declare a state of drought specifically in Dover, which then triggers a couple things. So one is notification to residents, and that's done through our normal channels, website, social media, signs that go up on certain locations in town that DPW install for us. It also involves, again, restricting water usage for all residents, and this is whether you are on aquarium water or on a private well. And then lastly, should it be necessary, it also gives the town the ability to enforce this restriction through the bylaw, through either initially a warning, we really try to educate people at first, but then ultimately, if people do not choose to comply, even after being educated and warned, through actual fines. So it is at the discretion of the board, but given the drought status for the state, particularly Dover, the water conservation measures recommended by DEP, and also, we as Robin and Dave know, we have local monitoring wells that we observe, and if you look at that dashboard, you do see the effect on there as well. So I'd recommend the board consider declaring a state of drought at this time, and subsequently also limit water use, including irrigation, to 1 day per week. Again, with those hours either before 9 or after 5 p.m.
So I certainly support your recommendation. You know, we put the bylaw in place specifically for these types of circumstances. And again, the most important thing is educating the town and reminding them, you know, the bylaw was only put in place 2 years ago. And at that point, we had a severe drought. So what I would like to do is make sure that, you know, on the website, we remind people of citizens of what we're doing and why we're doing it, and try and get the word out. It's a shame that the newsletter's going out tomorrow. I don't know if there's any way just to include that in there as well, just to notify people, so long as Dave agrees that we should.
Well, my note right here is to ask Chris if he can put this in the next newsletter. So,
Right.
I'll
what do
see
you
what I
think,
can
Chris? Can you sneak it in, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, if we have, we can get the content ready, we should be able to include for
Right.
tomorrow.
So Chris, there is content already available. Like and if you can't find it, I think I may have it on my home computer and I can send it to you. It's just like a 1-page PowerPoint
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
telling people what we're doing.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, if you can send it to me,
Okay.
just work off of,
Okay.
and we'll get it in there amongst
All
the
right.
other channels as well.
Okay. All right. And you know, again, we should just remind people not to order. It is late in the season, so hopefully everybody's irrigation system is already shut off. But my lawn looks like your lawn, Brad. It's gone dormant already. So with that, I'm going to move to declare that the town of Dover is in a state of drought and that all non-essential water use as defined by Massachusetts DEP be limited to 1 day per week before 9 a.m. and after 5 p.m.
Second?
All in favor? I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
Excellent. And so moving right along, the next item of business is our consent agenda, which consists of the following items. Acceptance of an $18,440.78 grant to the Dover Police Department for the Massachusetts Office of Grants and Research for a Municipal Road Safety Program. A vote, and this is very deserving, to close at noon on Thanksgiving Eve, which is November 27th, and to close the townhouse on Friday, November 29th. We did this for the first time last year. It was very much appreciated by the staff, and given the limited traffic that goes through the townhouse, I think it's much deserved. Approval of 2024 1-day special liquor licenses for, and many of these are retroactive, for October 1st, 21st, 28th, 29th, and November 6th. And approval of the June 13th, June 28th, August 23rd, and September 7th, 2023 Board of Selectmen open session meeting minutes. So I moved to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
All in favor? I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
And with that, I believe we have conducted all of the business for this meeting. We will resume our regular meeting schedules in the evenings. I wish everybody a happy Halloween. Enjoy trick-or-treating. I cannot remember when the weather was so nice for trick-or-treating. I remember it always being freezing cold and having a skimpy costume. But
Not this year. Those kids are going to be
No,
perspiring.
no. So I'll tell you, in downtown Boston, I sort of forgot it was Halloween and there were people dressed up. And I'm like, why are these people wearing costumes? And then I realized what was going on. So with that, I'm going to move to adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
Enjoy Halloween 2024.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great
Thanks a
day.
lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.